Let's talk about a very interesting aspect of physics. Assuming you support a strong wood plank on top of a log of wood, as demonstrated on the screen, and then you put a load on one end of the plank. The side with the load will immediately fall to the ground and the other end will go up, correct? But when you apply force by pressing the other end of the plank downward, the other end with the load begins to rise even though the force you are applying is acting downward. Now this image is probably so normal to you because you have seen it so many times. Now let's explore the aspects of physics at play. To understand this, we would look at what is called the moment of a force. When we say moment in physics, we are talking about the relationship between a physical quantity and the distance of that quantity from a point. This relationship is usually a multiplication of the quantity and the distance. So, the moment of a force at a point will be defined as the product of the force and the perpendicular distance between that point and the force. So let's use an illustration to further explain what we mean. Assuming a large box is filled with sand and placed at one end of a seesaw, and you sit at the other end of the seesaw, and the end with the box of sand goes up. It means you've done some work, right? And this work done is equal to the weight of the box of sand multiplied by the height it moved up from the ground. But how did you do this work? This work is equal to your weight multiplied by the distance from you to the box. But did you notice that your weight is acting downward vertically and the distance between you and the box is horizontal? Note that the angle between the force you applied, which is your weight, and the line the force acts is 90 degrees. So when we say two objects are perpendicular to each other, it's another way of saying that the angle separating them is 90 degrees. From this illustration, we can see that the moment of the force you applied to the box of sand is the product of the force you applied, which is your weight, by the perpendicular distance between you and the box of sand. So let's summarize what we have learned. We've learned that in physics, when we say moment, it means the multiplication of a quantity and the distance from that point. So from this, we said the moment of a force at a point is the product of the force and the perpendicular distance between that point and the force. This is given by force F multiplied by perpendicular distance d. And when two objects are perpendicular to each other, the angle separating them is 90 degrees. Hope that was clear. I'll see you in the next lesson.